When I used to work for MTN, in the beginning stages of my career there, I was an administrator. I was an administrator, and my boss, well, I had many bosses. There was one main boss lady, and she had subordinates that were also my bosses. They were program managers. She was a senior manager, and the three of us were program coordinators, basically administrators under her. And there was a recruitment drive in the company to bring on board like project managers and whatnot. And we were sometimes privy as administrators to very private stuff about their lives, because we were administrators. So their family lives, their addresses, their salaries sometimes, or offers that were made to them, their CVs, their experience, qualifications, all that jazz. We were the ones that were peddling all that information because we were admin ladies and one admin guy. It was therefore very imperative discretion on our part. We had to handle that information with care, and we certainly could not speak about it, not with each other, and also not with other project managers, because don't nobody need to know how much whoever is earning. It was against company policy. We could literally get fired if we shared that information. Our job was to deal with that kind of sensitive information with tact, because our boss was their boss and their bosses were our bosses too. And so therefore we had to deal with all of their very private information, confidential information. When you've got access to that kind of info, you cannot be a little baboon. You can't be petty, and you cannot use it to sabotage. You cannot give yourself powers like a little god over the information of the staff members that you are administrating. You can't give yourself power over them to basically dangle what you can do with as an administrator in the background against them. You are a junior at the end of the day. These project managers were our seniors, even though they were not our bosses. Our line managers were their bosses, but they nonetheless were a level above us. They were bigger. They were professionally haughtier than us. So when you are working as an administrator at YouTube, some kind of a personal assistant or a lady that is an administrator for a department, like a person, a PA or some, honey, you are way lesser. You are way lesser than any content creator, no matter how small, because they will there will always be a potential for them to be wealthier than you in the worst way. And they are, at the end of the day, the clients of YouTube. They are the money maker of YouTube. They're the contracts, like with account management, the contracts that you bring in for your company to underwrite. If you are an insurance company, for instance, they're the client. If they give you all their cell phone contracts, they're the client. So you can't mess with them. So just because you've got really like sensitive information about these clients and you are able to make decisions concerning, you've got administrative powers to do something negative against these people, does not give you a right to do so, and it is a dismissible offense. You do realize that, right? Like, absent of your line management, your own boss giving you an instruction to do something with a content creator, you cannot do it yourself, because on that day you are just way in over your head, in insubordination and in abuse of power, abuse of administrative powers. That's why, sister, you're not even going to have an opportunity to apologize, because this time around, this time around you did it by yourself. This time around you decided to go and perform insider trading, essentially. And content, in so doing what you did to me, display then that you are not one that is merely taking instructions from on high to do something to a content creator. You are displaying that your pettiness, your selfishness, your lackluster general personality can stand in the way of your job. Because listen to this, like, as an administrator, frankly, even my job is not sufficient to describe just the haughty crazy of this lady. I used to have a friend at MTN that was an HR administrator. When I became a project manager, when I got promoted, she said to me, you do know that I can always check to see how much money you earn, right? Because I've got access to salaries. But I'm not gonna do it. She literally looked me in the face and she was like, but I'm not gonna do it because I could lose my job for that. I only look at salaries of people that are in my team, that I'm administrating for other departments, but you are in a completely different department. So if I were to look at your salary and somehow at audit, they picked up, they realized that I checked, I could lose my job. That's what I'm talking about right now. When something is out of your jurisdiction and you get discovered as having checked it at some point, if you get discovered as having looked at it at some point, if there are auditors that come in and they discover that you look at it at all and it is out of your jurisdiction, albeit with you having administrative rights, because everybody in your position has rights across the board on all policies. When you check that policy and then something gives down the line with that policy, something happens to that person and that information, and then therefore the investigation is done, they're going to ask, why did you look for the salary of a person in marketing when as an HR administrator you only service finance? Because here is this person whose salary you checked 2 months down the line. She's out just suing the company for being underpaid because she found out that she makes less money than this other guy. How could she know? We went and looked at the log of people who checked online, and you're there, but you're not supposed to be looking at anybody's salary in marketing. You have the rights as an administrator. You're in HR. All of us have access, but why were you perusing that? Because yours is a focus on finance. Why were you? Why is your electronic signature in marketing salaries? And upon an inquiry then being raised up from the ground, you're basically facing disciplinary action. You display when you are that tactless with the power that you have been awarded in your organization, that you can't be trusted with everybody else. Because Karabo, we get South Africa doesn't like her, and she's frankly nobody. She's not even on the partner program. She's not monetized. Don't nobody care what goes on with her. But tomorrow you could be dealing with somebody else that is able to sue YouTube, for crying out loud, like able to sue us, and also able to, because they're so gargantuan as an influencer, put a bad name on us as an organization in totality. We're dealing with defamation lawsuits and a whole bunch of stuff. Like, if you could do it on petty grounds without being given an instruction to do it from your senior, your superior, you show that fraud is easy for you to come by. This chick made a decision to remove my advanced features based on listen to this. I literally saw her in my vision. Was it a dream? It was a vision saying, "Utluyibona." This chick, her level at YouTube is similar to the one that I was in at MTN when I was a program coordinator. She's got the kind of job that every so often she books people's calendars. She books boardrooms for people on calendars, orders digestive biscuits, books parking, orders catering. She's basically an assistant, something like that. That's what she is. The decision to wreak havoc in my YouTube channel was awarded her from up top down, because someone that she works for was out here jojofied or whatever, and then she was made to look at me And then somebody rescinded that decision, and then this chick decided to, in her own unique capacity, do this anyway because she envied me. Like, this level of Christian persecution. You'll be out here risking your career. Just like that. Just like that. Hey, Batung, you are just an assistant girl. You're just starting out, hey? You're young. Like I was young. At MTN, I was just 25. And you out here going shoot yourself in the foot and start again. Go call centering. Because at this time around for me, you are going to beg. And the job that you have is kind of luxurious. It would be like being the assistant of Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada, working for an editorial magazine. You could rise up the ranks and have a very glamorous job. Not a lot of people actually get a job at YouTube in South Africa. You could just grow. There are companies that people are like stumbling over each other's bodies to work for. Especially when you have a degree from varsity like marketing or PR or whatever. It's so hard to get into these marketing firms or these companies that are such big brands. Like a bit of an MTN or a Coca-Cola or a Tiger Brands. When you've got that kind of a degree, it's rough to get in the door. You literally almost kind of need someone to help you land an opportunity, because there aren't companies just breaking their teeth to hire marketing or PR graduates all over South Africa. They're hard industries to crack into, and those people who make it into big brand companies as PR graduates or marketing graduates or digital marketing graduates, you don't play with a job like that when you work for Google, for YouTube, for what is this? When you work for Google, when you work for YouTube, when you work for Facebook, like when you work, and especially in a foreign country. So you're not in America where there's like plenty of stuff working for YouTube. You're in a branch, a small little breakaway in South Africa. When you mess with a job like that, oh girl, like literally you are set for life in that digital space of yours with that kind of CV in that industry, because you are going to be one up on your peers in South Africa. Because what digital marketing firm is not going to want somebody that comes from YouTube? What content management firm is not going to want somebody that worked for a social media platform? You do realize that Facebook is American. You do realize that YouTube is American, right? And you also know that Instagram is American. ByteDance is Chinese. That would be TikTok. Instagram American, WordPress American. Largely these social media platforms are American. Pinterest, like they are American. Canva, Australian. They're not in South Africa. So if you get like some little gig in a South African small little branch, you're like a needle in a haystack, and you've got an enviable job, baby girl. You have an enviable job. Don't nobody know. But you've got something that many people just can only dream of. Rest of us in these streets of South Africa, we are stuck and stranded with South African brands that pale in comparison to international ones like that. And you messed with that? May the Lord give your job to a Christian that prayed and prayed after graduating from varsity and struggled to get a job for a whole year. May she be awarded that as an internship. Or some Christian that got retrenched from their job and was unemployed for 2 years, and YouTube was like, hey, we have an opening. My prayer is that umsebenzi wakho is going to get given to umzalwane. That's all that I'm asking for. And after this, Amba, ulosebeletsa some little digital firm, marketing firm that's a startup, that's coughing blood, that does not have the pizzazz, the pristine, and the pow, the shine of YouTube. but not first before being unemployed for 2 years. Let that happen to you, sister girl. You stepped on the wrong toes, do you understand? You displayed by doing what you did that you can do it to other content creators. If you're the person actually sending RSVPs, invitations to South African content creators saying, please come to Rosebank, Sandton to do a meet and greet. Please come, let's have cocktail finger sandwiches, this. If you're the person that's out there giving them the little tags and doing a first and initial speech, hi guys, welcome to YouTube. We're so grateful to meet you. Yeah, you can, interact with each other. If you're the person that every so often are made to meet YouTube stars of South Africa, because you're the person that's always organizing meetings. You're the one that's always organizing brand companies, like brands basically, that actually want to meet content creators. You're the one that's putting people together, so you've got access as well to network with brands. You've got access to network with content creators, and you get proper. There are so many shots that you had in this job, and you've just thrown it. You flushed it, baby. You madagala, like the dirt you are. Pick it up, go in a dustbin, wankutla, or latli. You are going to get thrown away. You are going to get thrown away. Comeuppance is all up in your doorstep. Ozamwe, and kodwa awuzamekanga. Hawazamech. If at all you are that girl that is always meeting and greeting content creators, it means that if with any level of opportunity on one sunny day, one content creator crawls up your skin for whatever reason, if at all you feel like, oh, arrogant, I tried to go to her and greet her, and she just looked at me on some, I don't talk with the help. And then you decide that when, out of pettiness, nothing but, no professionalism, not even a single bone in you. Seeing as that's the way that content creators are, sister girl. I mean, when a content creator in her freedom of expression platform is out here calling you matlakala, you're then gonna go and shadow ban her. The reason why you're even shadow banning me, sister girl, is because you can relate with my stories. You are able to basically, bond with my struggle, but you're envious, you're covetous. And because you are manifesting demons and everything, you also feel entitled to me settling the way that you settled, doing what you had to do to get ahead, all that jazz. And so out of pettiness, you feel like kisnobo, and you're gonna handle me, honey, a good 59 to 80%. A good 59 to 80% of content creators are uppity. They're prissy. They insist that you carry their bag. They pick at the finger lunch you have prepared at the meet and greet. And then they say, but I'm vegan. They're snobs. They are comprehensive snobs that will irritate the living daylights out of you. They will tell you they have a peanut allergy. Why didn't you check first? You almost killed me, for crying out loud. What? Must I travel everywhere with an epinephrine shot? Here it is that I'm out here having an anaphylactic shock in front of everybody because you dared not take my order right. You got it wrong. I've got an allergy to peanuts. If my girl over here did not highlight it, we'd be dealing with a lawsuit. You're dealing with people like those. They think they're Angelina Jolie. They think they are actors and actresses. Once they get 1 million subscribers on YouTube, they thoroughly think they're an A-list celebrity already. And they can irritate the living daylights out of you. You have displayed that people with my kind of cocky attitude, because I can be a diva. You have displayed that people with my kind of cocky attitude, if at all you feel it is within your prerogative to handle them, you can handle them. And when then that's you, my baby girl, you cannot work for a social media platform. Because you will decide to snub content creators, not based on company policy, not based on moderation rules, not based on your bosses saying this is misinformation or whatever, but just based on the fact that I don't like her attitude. When has YouTube ever given anybody a strike for being sassy? When has YouTube ever given anybody a strike for being short, brief, succinct, full of attitude, backbiting. When has YouTube ever given anybody attitude for having a strong personality? Is that not their very value proposition? The more strong, the more oomphy and girthy your personality, the more likely it is that you're going to get a whole bunch of views, and so therefore ad revenue, and so therefore revenue share, and so therefore we're going to make money out of the fact that you are snappy, girl. We're going to make money out of the fact that you are sassy. So keep at it. That is the nature of show business, isn't it? And you are out here literally going out of your way to handle someone that is the perfect fit for your clientele. A sassy little diva. Only reason you despise me is that I am a godly, sassy lady. I'm coming in the name of Christ, and I'm speaking real, deep matters of the earth that are relevant even to you, and so you are killing me off. I am in the perfect space. Do you understand? I am a creative. I got kicked out of that 9-to-5 space that you're bottled under, and I decided to innovate and show all my innovations online. I was therefore on that day officially a content creator. And now you hate me for the very thing that makes content creators everything that they are. The very thing that makes them prolific, the very thing that makes them grow, the very thing that makes them taboo, the very thing that makes them a PR nightmare or a PR success. Yeah, the very thing that makes me the perfect recipe for content creation, prosperity. You are killing me for it. You have just displayed by destroying my advanced features on YouTube that you can destroy the advanced features of any other content creator that just irritates you even slightly. Because they did not even look in your direction when you walked their way and smiled at them. Because you thought that by bona, that those were your statements. That was the exact thing that you thought to yourself. Honey, how you gonna even say something like that? Kisna next, kisna muntu, like proper, nobody watches my content. You've shadow banned me, Company has made a decision to make out of me a no-brainer that gets ones and zeros binary code for views. I'm already in some pretty cold YouTube prison. YouTube, sister, brother girl. But you can tell that I could get really prolific one day, and because of the video that I uploaded most recently, where I spoke about how America, the US of A, is going to set free a whole bunch of content creators, you then decided in Jefela Uguti, you're gonna, nudge me along in the whole dying thing, nudge me along in the whole giving up thing, nudge me along in the whole discouragement thing, that before I can inherit my promise, because largely you believe my prophecies, yeah, you are going to make me give up before I can inherit my promise, where the US is going to hand me on a silver platter my channel. I told you that's gonna happen. But even before it happens, I'm gonna get my advanced features back, because girl, you're getting fired. You were not supposed to take those away. Your people were content enough with me just getting binary code, ones and zeros. Nobody's watching me. But you took it one step up. You took away my advanced features. You're not going to be able to apologize. You're not going to be able to say sorry, Karabo, by fixing it, because whoever it is that gave the instruction to restore them is going to listen to this first, and you're going to lose your job because you have displayed that if you can do this to me on pettiness without getting an instruction from on high, you can do it to any other content creator. You can rock up at a meet and greet and be irritated by the diva disposition of some irritating, but nonetheless it's none of your business, creator. That because they've made their first YouTube million does not even want to look in your direction, because after all, you're just a help. Imagine you going to grab that woman's advanced features in your own personal capacity and just dissing them because she dissed you with all her attitude. I don't like you, Lebaloi, Akere. I don't like you. You are destroying this country, South Africa, Akere. So if I don't like you, I get to say I don't like you. Why must I like you? And bosom buddy with you, camaraderie with you, bounce up and down on a beach ball with you, out here, go down and shoot at Valley of the Waves, go Sun City with you, when you are a saboteur of the whole damn country. You don't like South Africa, so I don't like you. I used to like my country, but now I find it insufferable because of people like you. You sabotage South Africans. And given that you work for a South African branch of YouTube, you are now thoroughly taking away Izaga Mulato. Do you understand? coming from America that is going to be pumped into the South African economy. Lama content creators was South Africa that you keep on booking meetings with. Matenga, Ipai, a King Pie, Kotle Watermall, they pump the South African economy. And you are trying to keep money out of people like those. You displayed in so doing this to me, one mere mortal, that you can do it to 20 other content creators. And so not only are you destructive to YouTube as a brand, but you are destructive to South Africa as a country. I mean, Pumpele, goodbye, and all the best finding another job, sister girl, that is as prestigious as the one that you presently have. Good cute, good glamorous da. I know, I'm your pushy pampiri in some boring company that doesn't even have good aesthetics to look at. Ergonomically, your chair gonna be out here giving you a headache. Because they are careless about what you eat in the canteen for lunch. You were 5 seconds away from working for Google. And now look at you. You already do, to a certain extent, work for Google. Because YouTube is an extension of Google, right? But like, you know those offices up in America? Where lunch is on them. You be out here chilling in loafers and everything. You were 5 seconds away from boarding an aeroplane and working over there. Maybe 2 more years, girl. And you might have actually gotten a working permit in America, but you're stranded with South African civil war. I'm moving to the US. My plan was not to work or take your job away for YouTube. I was not trying to work for your Google. I was only just trying to work as a content creator serving those platforms. And one day, thrive in it. And you chose to like veto that. I'm a Christian, albeit being a content creator, so I've also got a very important message. And I've got a God who is the boss even of your boss. And when he says you gotta go, you gotta go. Because your little daddy Saul, en route Damascus, stopped trying to kill a Christian, but look at you, insist on finishing what he started. You're gonna be bye-bye. I go tlhokofala because you said so. I'm not going to be discouraged because you said so. There is nothing new under the sun, honey. You did exactly what your former people did. And now in the blind and the dark, you switched off my lights. You left me with 1 channel. Or 2, including my animated channel. But you took the other 3. What is wrong with you? Are you gonna gun for the 4th one upon realizing that nobody noticed? You think you're the only person on my missing? You think you're the only person out here tuning into my YouTube channel? What you did displayed a severity of insubordination and just an inability to take instruction and a rogue mentality. Whether or not your bosses might still have qualms with me, whether or not the secret society that you serve might still have issues with me, bottom line is you displayed a deep insubordination that is frankly tactless even in the eyes of occult practitioners. If you can't take instructions, if you can't take orders, they can't run with you. That organization, that cult, these cults that you all work for, they're an organized mess. They're an organized chaos. But it's very organized. I said the other day that occult practitioners will give us a run for our money as Christians because sometimes we start a fast. And even though we said we're going to fast for 10 days, here it is that we're eating an apple on day 1.5. But occult practitioners start a fast and they will literally only eat on day 11 if they've determined to fast for 10 days because they are very determined for Satan. They work very hard for Satan. There is order in your kingdom in ways that sometimes we drop the ball in the kingdom of God. There's no leg room. Who's strict that, girl? It's strict in ways that it just isn't even in the kingdom of God. It's written in God's word that he remains faithful when we are not, when we are faithless, for he cannot deny himself. He remembers that we are made of dust, and so he has compassion on us. But in the kingdom of darkness, aguna leg room, there's no concession. Because it's a very fluffy, flaccid kingdom that falls apart at the smallest little mistake. Y'all are forever. In the kingdom of darkness, you are forever trying to cause saints to compromise against God so you can get to us, right? Because you know that there is a strength in Christianity. that you just can't quite overwhelm. So you are in dire need of making us settle. That's why you work so hard to make us sleep when we're praying, break our fasts early, all that jazz. It's because one saint, even when they are at their weakest moment, when they are not fasting, and when they're grumbling against God, still out here be knocking out 50 occult practitioners just snoring. There is an understood or a comprehended girth and a strength in one saint that causes people in the occult to dot their I's and cross their T's. They can't drop balls. They can't yawn even once because they need to be in concert and camaraderie and agreement with each other. In order for them to succeed, to bring low just one Christian, it's a feat for them. They're prepared to kill 20 people just to get to one saint. That's how much one Christian is like a big job to them all. It's like Ocean's 13 out here trying to rob a bank. It's rough, and it takes precise planning. You don't get to go rogue on a job like that. When you go rogue, remember, one Christian can bring down just 50 of these occult practitioners lying down. Look at how your one rogue activity has produced this video. Your one rogue activity that is undocumented and that is without instruction, that does not have a blueprint, a worksheet. It does not have a work mandate. Nobody authorized it. Look at what it's done. Bon. Look at the video it has produced. It's careless. And now, I told you one Christian can bring down 1,000, two can bring down 10,000. So the war that I make with occult magic, every time when I come here to speak, it's a war, okay? It's a reaction, it's a retaliation. They strike a blow and I strike mine back. They rock up with one little gun and I machine gun them back. Every time they come at me with witchcraft, I said that yesterday, casualties, so they strategically plan their blows in these cults, anticipating a reaction from me that's going to endure them through some kind of losses. They've got shock absorbers of what I could potentially do. And even then, they can't plan sufficiently because I always come at them with a curveball because the Lord always raises a standard against what the devil brings to us as a flood. So there is no opportunity, neither room for rogue activity when especially you are sent by a cult. The reason why there is no concession for rogue activity, sister girl, is because don't nobody know in that silly occult of yours, seeing as they're not omniscient, how the Christian is going to react. Every time they mess with a saint, they are thoroughly aware it could result in a fatality. They're thoroughly aware it could result in some kind of disaster. But be careful. Christians are like dynamite. I was watching this one show on Netflix some time ago. I enjoyed it during the time when it was playing Lost. It's called Lost. It's an old school show of these people that are out here marooned on an island because their plane crashed there or whatever. And in one scene, they find dynamite on some abandoned craft. They want to use this dynamite for whatever purposes, and there is a science teacher there who has some knowledge, some experience, some understanding about how dynamite operates, and he counsels everybody that hey, you must be careful with dynamite, especially when it's leaking like this, because it could explode at any moment. It's very, very sensitive. It's extremely unstable. And then so everybody starts to handle this dynamite very carefully. They lift it one by one. They make sure that it's wet and they dry. And that same old science teacher handles this dynamite, trying to explain to everybody how sensitive and unstable this thing is, and it goes off, killing him. Body parts of his everywhere splattered. Very, very gruesome, that scene. He bombs up with dynamite, telling people that be careful with this thing because it's just go off, especially considering it's been sitting here for all these years and it's leaked. Believers in Christ, when you put them under a severity of attrition, become like leaked dynamite. Occult practitioners are aware that you gotta handle them in a particular way with care, absent of which they could explode on you and you will then die. They always dive into their stupid missions knowing that it could result in fatalities, so they are careful. in that show lost. The science teacher himself died even though he was warning. So you have basically put your whole bunch of occult practitioner people in the cult in harm's way by going rogue. You have put them in harm's way. You've literally gone rogue and caused sensitive dynamite Christians to, of course, retaliate. You had to have seen that I was going to react. You had to have known. I keep on rocking up with knee-jerk reactions. Barely ever do I respond in ways that people expect. Yet, despite not responding in ways that people expect, they nonetheless plan, make leg room, leeway for potential responses. This one, honey, don't nobody see it coming. Ain't nobody seen it coming. No one saw the theft of my advanced features coming. Again. This little stupid stunt again. And now dynamite has exploded. You're going to be one of the fatalities. But there's also going to be collateral damage on everybody else. You are going to lose your job. You went out of line. You acted roguely. And told yourself, as if though that's in your prerogative to make a decision concerning the destruction of my future because of it. By the content creators, and as for me, I am confident in Christ, but you don't see it that way. You're in a position to put people in their place. You can't have the kind of job that you have then, because the people that you work for, everybody feels they need to be put in their place. They are arrogant. They are content creators. They think they are little celebrities. They think everybody needs to worship them. They believe they defecate ice cream. And they believe that when they burp, out comes out the smell of roses. They think they don't wake up in the morning with halitosis. They are among the conglomerate of human souls of the last days who are lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. They are lovers of self and lovers of money. You cannot work in such a fluffy, flaccid industry and take it in your own prerogative to handle people for being divas. Wrong turn, wrong industry. I'm not in the army. Maybe I am, for Christ. I don't work in a bank, baby girl. I don't work in a law firm. I'm not a teller at a Pick and Pay where I've got to be humble and take all the client's nonsense in my stride. I'm a content creator, and I'm sitting on a platform where freedom of expression is a thing, and I'm also making war with people. You cannot put me in my place and still keep your job. You can't have your bread buttered on both sides. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Tlaki. Matlakala. You're losing your job. And I don't care. They are going to knock you out even though they don't adore me. It's not about me, it's about what you represent. You are a rebel. So goodbye, baby girl. Severance pay is yours. It's coming. In spite of all of this crazy, ridiculous activity from Matlakala, I innovate anyway around it. Because you see, I'm full of shock absorption and coping. But Tlaki, listen. Precisely because of what you did, I am even more determined to survive and cope. And the way that I survive and the way that I cope for all of your indiscretions is always in and of itself an attack. I am colorful. I am artistic. I am like an electric eel or a goldfish. Not goldfish, sorry, but a jellyfish. I just glow and I shine. But I am kind of poisonous. And the more I glow and the more I shine, essentially the more I innovate, the more at risk are your little fluffy boys all around. Do you understand? Because I'm gonna be all shiny, and then they're gonna be like, it's glimmering, and then they're gonna want to touch me, and then they're gonna get stricken back, right? So people who are trying, or at least having a really rough time trying to exercise self-control where I'm concerned, they're not gonna manage. I break out into song. I break out into little makeup filters. I break out into more creativity when I am bereft. I did tell you the story with the lion that I made, the art that I made, because there was just thunder around. I was in a lot of pain. I didn't know what to do with myself, and so I painted. I had nothing to do. I had lost a job, and so I started baking. I had nowhere to go, nothing to look forward to. So I innovated a craft and I started recording videos. Another thing that came about as a result of pain and sorrow. I started working out, but with dance. So many things that I now do, I only started them because my situation was so dire. I started dancing because of pain. I needed to find a way to put endorphins in my body through exercise, but I could not stand just jogging, running, basic rote mundane exercise. So I worked out, dance. Everything I do is creative. But all this creative stuff was brought forward because of pain and sorrow. Evidencing the veracity of John 15. That God is the vine. God the Father is the vine dresser. God the Father is the vine dresser. Jesus Christ is the vine, and we are the branches. Anybody that bears fruit, the Father will prune, essentially cut, so that they can bear more fruit. And then, of course, those that don't bear fruit will be cut down and then thrown into the fire. The point I'm trying to get at right now is that God cuts you when you bear fruit, when you are engrafted in the vine, so you can bear more fruit. So I lost my job. I was severed. I was cut. That was the pruning of God. And through all these cuts, bore forth fruit of all of this innovation to basically keep on working in spite of being unemployed now. I've brought forth extra fruit. So, if at all, you will know the disciples of the Lord by their fruit. And if at all, when we walk in fruit, we become more than conquerors. We become destroyers of the kingdom of darkness. It means that when you out here popping a pear or a peach out of a Christian because they're in pain, you conquer, to a certain extent, something of the kingdom of darkness. When a saint bears fruit, they mow down to the ground something in the kingdom of darkness. It's written in God's word that we overcome the devil by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. So therefore, Satan is overwhelmed when, instead of flopping, floundering, and passing away because of sorrow, we rather take the way out to escape temptation and then testify of it. We basically burn to a crisp on that day something of the kingdom of darkness. We are more than conquerors in Christ Jesus, precisely because instead of fall apart from pain and attrition, we bear more fruit. We display that we are more than conquerors. We strive, we push. But you see, as a saint, you don't get to bear fruit without killing something of the kingdom of darkness. You don't get to bear love, joy, peace, gentleness, kindness, long-suffering, self-control, goodness, and faithfulness. Against these, there is no law. The persecution that you all keep on enduring me through, including this lackluster matlakala that took away my advanced features again, in the spirit of Nakitui Bona. Yo, girl, all you've done is give me a new idea to come here differently. Papa, that's all you've done. When I noticed that my advanced features are gone, I wasn't even planning on recording a video today. I wasn't. Because I spoke for 9 hours yesterday. But then when all this sharp pain in my heart, breaking apart like a glass bottle, shards, piercing into my aorta, I have to find a way to cure myself. And like I said, this work is cathartic to me. It's healing. It releases endorphins, serotonin, dopamine into my body. And so that which is scathing just does not feel so bad anymore. It's an anesthetic. It's like morphine on extreme pain. The pain is there. The illness is there. But just for one day, I don't feel it. For a couple of hours, I don't feel it. It is the administration of a painkiller into my bloodstream that does away with something that would have decimated me. It would have decimated me. Yesterday, the attack by that American man, the attack to try and make me a little OnlyFans prostitute or whatever, it was so exquisite to my bones that I spoke for 9 hours, and on the other side, it felt like nothing happened. And here it is that I'm back again speaking for more hours. And so I don't know how long I've been speaking for, but it's not going to be for as long as I was speaking yesterday, I would imagine. But it's nonetheless a couple of hours. I'm more than likely going to have 3 to 4 parts speaking here. So it's about 4 hours, half of yesterday, just to cope with the fact that you took away my advanced features. And over and above it, I brought glitter on my eyes. CapCut decided to be all stingy and make Makeup Pro. So I'm using Beauty Plus now. And it's got all these other funny little things on it. I just innovate. I innovate. Never mind the innovation of the outward appearance and how I look, right? But then there's also the singing. When I'm in a lot of pain, like as in so much that I can't deal, something happens in my body. It's like, look, I break out into song. Very extreme pain makes me sing. Y'all. Y'all. I don't want to use this example because it's not healthy, it's not sane. But the chemicals in the body, alright? The chemical composition of our bodies, when they are harassed by a flood of adrenaline, can react in a myriad of ways so as to cope and to bring the person back into some kind of stability. Okay? There was a time when I was watching Law and Order Special Victims Unit some years ago, maybe like 3-4 years ago, right? When it was being aired on DSTV. And it's actually the biggest reason why I don't want to watch Law and Order Special Victims Unit on Netflix, even though it's a relatively clean show, because it speaks about rape, right? It's of rape victims, and I'm quite triggered by that because I am pursued by a whole bunch of rapists. But one episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit, there was a case of a girl that was gang raped by a couple of guys. All right, that was her case. The whole show focuses on sex crimes, basically. She was gang raped, and the guys in court, upon the whole due process unfolding, claimed that this chick consented. She wanted to be there because she climaxed, she orgasmed in the middle of all that rape. They then brought in a doctor, and the doctor went on to explain that sometimes the way the body deals with a flood of too much pain and sorrow is to essentially release euphoria, just a lot of endorphins, just a spray of pleasure, so as to limit the extent of damage that the pain can induce. The height of cortisol, the height of basically all the hormones, all the chemicals that can be sprayed into your body as a result of a severity of trauma. Sometimes the body counteracts it so it can survive, so it can live, so it can balance itself out by giving you an orgasm. So pain can bring that on board. So basically the case was, the guys lost the case. Their little argument that she consented was thrown out of the water by the witness, the testimony of the doctor. Okay? Sometimes something like that happens with me, but not so much with an orgasm, but in terms of when there's just too much pain in my body, I burst into music. It is a pleasuring thing that I do because I love it, and it counteracts the pain. It works like a charm. Well, not a charm, because charm is kind of spiritually satanic, but like a miracle. It works. I could be dealing with extreme abuse. Like last night, for instance, I had a dream of some incestuous cousin of mine at it again, trying to having sex with me. I was busy having sexual relations with my cousin in my dream. He is slapping me with the korobela. He's busy with a lust spell. He's like Amnon with Tamar. I've got a cousin that's very much like Amnon in the Bible. He is salivating after his own blood, okay? And he keeps on slapping me, gadi korobela. And in my dream, I had a sexual relationship with him and I was hiding it. It was clandestine and I was trying to justify it. I don't even know why the heck this guy is thinking like this. He's got this I didn't even want to talk about him because it's like I've already addressed his incest and it's disturbing to me. It's bad enough having to deal with complete strangers or men that are not my family members, them having my body in my dream with me consenting to it. But then when it's my cousin, it's like, I don't know. Okay, all the sexual abuse is just out of this world. It's ridiculous. Yesterday I spoke about one that is a stranger, some American dude that I was busy having sex with in my dream. A lot of these demonic attacks, and I have to demolish them every single day. The one, my cousin, I don't even want to talk about it because it's taboo, and I was not going to raise it today. But then I'm out here now speaking about it because I want you to understand the flood of demonic attack that came at me just in the past 24 hours. And then over and above, the one with my cousin, I was going to ignore it. I was going to heal myself, recover, and just go through the day and not record any content because I spoke for 9 hours last night. I was largely coping, but you see, I wanted to post or publish, content that I had already uploaded. I had to create a thumbnail for them, thumbnails, and then post them, but they had already been uploaded, all the content. In order for me to do that, I have to go inside my YouTube channels. And even though I was only going to publish content that was already uploaded, I then happened upon that red like square on YouTube. When you don't have your advanced features and your links are not clickable, in your description box and your editing page, it is the description box is encircled by red. The description box is red because it's like a warning. It sticks out, it's bold to let you know that you don't have your advanced features, and so your links are not clickable. If you want them to be clickable, click on this link and do a one-time verification so that you can have your features restored to you. I already did that whole one-time verification thing, so I'm not about to go and do it again because frankly they took my features away for evil purposes, nefarious reasons. The only time that you lack those advanced features is if you don't have history, or if you have not done a one-time verification. But once you've done it, you should not have your advanced features taken away. But sometimes they can take away your advanced features because of what, I don't know, like when they want to demonetize you or community guideline issues, like, they are and like they're just fluffy, man. They vacillate between extremes as to what they do with content creators at their discretion. There's no really set cast in stone rule as to how they do stuff in these YouTube streets, and YouTube can do that to you. But this chick did that to me without her company being privy to it. It was a decision made in her own capacity. It was not the decision made by a moderating team to bring down something of mine. She did this on her own. You get my point? And so a content creator, when then that description box is all red and everything, they know that they have to either appeal with YouTube, blah blah, what a fish paste, etc., or to do a one-time verification. They're just made aware that you can't roll like this. And what that situation does is it also makes it impossible for you to monetize, and it also makes it impossible for you to upload more than 15 videos a day. So basically this chick is setting me up for such that she's setting me up for the kind of failure such that even if my channel were to grow, I can't monetize. She decimated 3 of my channels. The one is still there, my advanced features, but I'm low-key looking forward to them disappearing. And she has also left my my special, my animated channel, but only because she tends to forget it anyway, because even when they restored my features, she did not restore my animated channel because she forgot. And when I mentioned in my video that my animated channel has not been restored, the next day it was restored. They also did not restore my fitness channel, but I didn't see it fit to raise it. I raised it in my ministry because they listened to me, okay? Because it's not worth it. It's only got like 67 subscribers, and I was gonna start from scratch anyway with ministry, with fitness, so I didn't care that they had taken away my advanced features there. But it displayed that they were targeting me because they literally went for all of my channels, all of them across the board, one after the other, after the other, after the other. Yeah, this chick only left one of my channels open, telling me that this was not even a decision made by her people. She left one of my channels available, but I'm expecting it to disappear. When I saw that red block again, having not expected to see it again, it was just insult to existing injury. Here it is that I'm out here being accosted by some sexually deviant cousin, and then there's all the spiritual war, this demonic attack, and then you took my advanced features again. My heart sank. It was like a gush of blood just oozing from my heart. Pain on some, but these people are doing the same thing that they've been doing all this time. But then I remembered, all throughout the day as I've been walking up and down, the Lord giving me flash visions perpetually of a woman that kept on saying to herself, she had to be handled. She's arrogant. That was the Lord saying to me. And also Binaya Emily Sanders. I'm gonna sing to my the words cry was just going and going and going. That was the Lord telling me that you're gonna sing no matter what. You're gonna carry on. She's trying to make you stop working. And the last prophecy you gave about the US setting everybody free of a content creator that has presently been incarcerated, it made her make a decision to remove the advanced features on 3 of your channels, so that even if your channels do grow, you can never monetize. You can't make money off them. And she only left one channel open. And also my other channel, my animated, but only because she forgot about the animated, okay? Otherwise she would have come for that too. Type establishment thing. Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh, and another thing. Earlier on, I kept on getting a vision of a woman being like, is she dead? Is she dead? Is she dead? Is she dead yet? Is she dead yet? Essentially, Umfaz Lorna is on some company at Chokafala. Remember also, I once did a video where I shared some prophecy about a cult in this country, right? A cult in this country that recruits women, and these women were working as seamstresses in a factory out just sewing, because they were kept in that bunch by this cult, whatever. You're gonna have to watch that video, please. I'm not gonna expand on it. I then get a dream of her just going ga on a sewing machine, working for this cult. Women who I made it clear in that dream that unawares to themselves, they are working for a cult. KwaZulu-Natal, in Durban in particular, that's their head offices. Even though they don't know it, they are working for men because they're the only ones that are enabled by them.